Hi, my name is Trevor, and I'm here with another video for you representing takelessons.com. So if you're like many beginner bass players, you may have seen a little bit of chit-chat about whether to pluck with your fingers or use a bass pick. The answer is both. So in this video, we're going to talk about the advantages and differences between both techniques. The first one we're going to talk about is the gear that comes built in with your hand, your fingers. So I use my index and middle finger to do my plucking. And what's great about this is I don't have to worry about having a pick. So that's one advantage. The other thing is I get a more hands-on feel with the bass. I personally enjoy playing bass with my fingers. This takes a little bit of practice and coordination, and since it's a more difficult technique to get a handle on, then I would recommend starting with the fingers because it's also more of a traditional bass guitar approach. You also get some advantages like quick alternating and then some rakes where you come from one string to another with one plucking motion. That's just using my middle finger. I can do a rake with either. Then it also leaves you free to try out some other techniques like slapping. Right? Let's see, I'll do a little demo here. You can cut that part out. So that's Brick House by the Commodores using slapping and plucking. I'm not going to teach you how to do that in the beginner video series, but I just wanted to show you that not having a pick allows me the freedom to choose between all of those different techniques. Now with the pick, there's nothing wrong with the pick. You get a different sound. You also get the advantage of speed. All right. So you can do really fast alternate picking where I alternate between downstrokes and upstrokes, and then you get a brighter tone. And then that little click at the beginning of a quick attack could be what you're looking for. But they're both very different techniques. It's a good idea to practice both. But again, I do think you should start playing with your fingers first. The other thing to consider when choosing between a pick and your fingers is the style with which you're playing. Now, rock and punk bass guitar, feel free to use a pick. It's everywhere. Take a look at Green Day, take a look at Blink-182. And another example actually would be the Beatles. Paul McCartney used a pick. With fingers, again, you'll see plenty of finger bass in the rock world. But if you're playing like funk or R&B or jazz, you probably are going to want to use your fingers. All right, so I mentioned an exercise in another video, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. And we're going to do it with both picking and plucking. I did the same hand motion for both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my phone here, trusty handy dandy phone. I'm going to pull up my metronome. This is free. It's called Pro Metronome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it so that there's one beat per cycle. And I'll set it at like 80. All right, so all the clicks sound the same. And what I want us to do is one pluck, we'll start with the fingers, per note. And here's a demonstration of the exercise. And then I'll walk you through how to do it. Okay, so that exercise, I'm doing it up here on the 5th fret because if you're like me, your hands are a little bit on the smaller side. The 5th fret is a really good middle point on the bass to start getting familiar with the frets like this. 1st through 4th fret require a lot of shifting around. These are called micro shifts. It's a good technique to learn. because you don't actually need a smaller bass if you have small hands. You just need to change your approach. So the chromatic exercise is what we call it. Start with the first finger on the 5th fret of the E string. Then you place your second finger on the 6th, third finger on the 7th, and 4th finger on the 8th fret. You do that for all the strings. Then when you get to the top, you walk it back down. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, referring to the fingers. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the other thing that's great about this exercise for the right hand is you can practice alternating between your index and your middle finger. So now that we've gone through how to play the exercise, why don't you play it along with me? I slowed down the metronome quite a bit. I'll give you 4 beats of count off. 1, 2, 3, go. Walk back down. And there you have it. Another thing you can practice is moving your thumb to the string below the one that you are plucking. So when I'm on the E string, I've got my thumb on my pickup. When I'm on the A string, I have my thumb on the E string. And when I'm on the D string and up, I have my thumb on the A string. This allows me to mute the strings that I'm not using, which is always a great technique. And the better you are at muting, the better you will sound, the less like a beginner you will be. Next, we're going to try the exercise with the pick. Now, bass picks are usually quite a bit thicker than regular guitar picks, but you can use really any kind of pick with the bass, but I like to use a thicker one because it bends back less against the string and allows you to push through more easily. So here's the exercise. Here's a demonstration of this exercise with picking. Okay, now I'm going to slow the metronome down. Before we get into it, I want to tell you about my approach with the pick. It's just a little bit different. When I'm doing this exercise with the pick, I use alternate picking, meaning I alternate between downstrokes and upstrokes. So we go down, up, down, up. Left hand isn't doing anything really different, but because I don't have my thumb moving around and muting the strings I'm not using, I'm actually going to use the back of my hand right here. Just lightly touch the strings, rest it on the ones I'm not using. And remember, you can mute with both hands. This is just what my right hand is doing. Okay, I'll give you 4 beats, grab a pick, and pick along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. Okay, that'll do it for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message on my Take Lessons profile and sign up for live classes with many of our great teachers. Live group classes are available on takelessons.com, and thanks again for watching.